All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Chase Grafton coming to you, owner of My Fit Future, and optimizing and maximizing the potential of others through health and wealth. And so just wanted to come to you with some content that you guys actually voted on. And so I placed a poll out there on what someone would want me to cover for this week. And we had content about, recipes, different body types, basics of nutrition, etc. And the one that actually got the most votes is, what is Chase currently nerding out on? Because if you're one of my clients, you know that I am pretty much always consuming some sort of content about the fitness, genetics, some sort of science, all that stuff, outside of geology and all that. But I wanted to give to you like what I've been really excited about. So recently, I've been getting a lot into fasting and kind of learning the mechanics of it and learning more about keto as well, but really in terms of like fasting and the mindset of it, because the main reason why I got into fasting, and you might also like intermittent fasting, long-term fasting, where it's like, 16, 20, 24 hours, 48, 36, 48 hours, et cetera, 72. I'm going to cover all that in this video because also my wifey for life, was asking me about it. And I was like, well, I guess I need to talk about it. So in this, it really breaks down to a few different things. Like, number one, what is fasting, right? Because we've heard all this stuff about intermittent fasting, all that stuff. Fasting is a state in which your body goes, and basically you're encouraging a mechanism called autophagy. Autophagy is cellular cleaning, right? So think of it this way. If you ever had car troubles, which I've had plenty of car troubles in my life, and I don't know if I'm not a car guy, so if you guys aren't either, then you probably understand how I feel in this. When something goes wrong in my car, I'm like, ugh. And then I drive it into the shop and I'm like, please do not like don't charge me everything that I have in my bank. But go in there, and 9 times out of 10, it's just a part that's messed up. Whether it's a serpentine belt, whether it's, a brakes, et cetera, again, not a car guy, right? But all I have to do is take that car in, pay money, and then I basically get that part replaced and the car's good as new, right? Well, what autophagy is in the human body is that same exact example. Is there's certain cells in your body that are running only at 20, 30, 40% efficiency. And now what you can do is when you go through a state of autophagy where you're fasting, your body is like, I do not want to waste resources on some lazy cell that's only operating 20%. So it scraps it for parts, and those parts get utilized to help other cells. And there's a multitude of other things that also helps with longevity. I'll go into the telomere length and all that stuff in another video when I do some more research on it. But really, I was really interested in it for 2 reasons, right? Number one, I hate eating, right? And it sounds weird for me to say, but like there was 2 points in my time where I really changed my entire like body frame, where I went from 185 pounds to 250 pounds. Right? And that was a long time of concentrated, I'm always eating, I'm always going through this, right? Especially when I was like brand new at this stuff. So as I was looking at that, it's super annoying to think about like, what's this meal going to be like? And it's time consuming, right? Because I used to eat 6 meals a day, right? Now I don't have to do that. And it's finding out different ways on how your body mechanics actually work, right? Now, intermittent fasting is it's not a diet. It's not calorie restrictive. I'm still having the same amount of calories that I need. Obviously, you can see that I'm healthy, right? And going through that. But what it is just creating a fasting window. And that could be 12 hours, it could be 16 hours, it could be 18 hours. And in that, I'm triggering autophagy. I'm triggering a little bit of ketosis, where I'm actually utilizing some fat cells. I'm grabbing my little love handle right there. And now I'm able to, my body's getting more efficient at using my own fuel source that I already have in me, instead of I need to always eat, because then we can't change our body. So why did I get interested in it? that was one reason. The second reason is, you know, I've always been interested in ways of optimizing brain function, because I really hate it. Like, I always felt like I needed coffee. I always felt like I needed like some sort of thing to juice me up and get me going. And I just, you know, you get to a time where you're just like, why doesn't my body just do what I want it to do? Right? And I wanted to find different ways, so I started tinkering. So here's some of the things that I found, right? So we've defined fasting. Fasting is a state that encourages autophagy, which helps with cellular cleaning, breaking down, you know, cells aren't obviously not good for you. That includes cancerous cells as well, fun fact. And then going through all that, also helping with, you know, your body composition, how much body fat percentage you have compared to your lean tissue, all that. And I wanted to know all this stuff, right? And again, this is, you know, it's always, you get into more of a deep dive, and I'm not going to go too hard in the paint when it comes to science, but what I do want to do is give you something that maybe you can use, maybe some things and tips and tricks that I picked up that you can utilize in your own program, right? So let's dive in. So intermittent fasting has different protocols, right? There's 12 hours, which, you know, it's good because you restrict the calorie window that you have going on. And then the other thing is you kind of get into the mode of it. And so, all right, and we're back. And so, so basically what we're trying to do is, in that intermittent fasting protocol, find out which time period is best for you. In this case, I'm just going to use me as an example. At first, I thought 12 hours was good. It really didn't do anything for me. I didn't feel like my energy level boosted. I just felt hungry, all right? And I didn't have to think about the food, but now I was having a harder time. Like, I was having to eat bigger meals or eat more in that 12-hour window. But some people, you know, do really well with it because they really restrict the time period, right? So from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., they can eat, but they can't eat outside of that. That's good. That's a good habit. You shouldn't be consuming, especially one of the worst things you can do is consuming food right before you go to sleep, right? Because now you're forcing your heart to work, all this stuff that should be resting, right? You have a 14 to 16, 18 hour, but the research has shown that when you go through, most of the benefits of intermittent fasting start around 16 hours. So what are some of those benefits? I already mentioned autophagy, so you're getting rid of cells that are inefficient, they're not working properly, et cetera, et cetera. 2, you're getting into a mild state of ketosis. And ketosis is being able to run off of where your body basically releases ketones from the fatty triglycerides that are in your adipose tissue or fat tissue, right? And that is really important. And then also you're affecting your gut biome. Your gut biome, like, you don't just digest food all by yourself. You actually have little bacteria, guys. Imagine Osmosis Jones, if you've ever seen that movie, and if you haven't, shame on you. Go watch it, right? It could be part of one of your quarantine movie challenges. But you know, your gut biome, you have good bacteria in your gut that actually help you break down food. And the way that you actually can encourage killing off the bad bacteria is through fasting, because good bacteria will live longer than bad bacteria in the gut. And so it's a way to kind of starve them of their fuel source so they don't cause havoc, they don't make you hungry for other foods, et cetera, right? The other benefit is that you really learn your body and some of your biorhythms. There's many of you that might be seeing this and they're saying, hey, you know, I really get hungry in the morning, or if you're like me, I don't really get hungry until like a few hours after, right? Which is a signal, right? That's a biorhythm. Another one could be, you know, like your circadian rhythm. Like, I am a night owl. My wife is the morning bird. When she wakes up, she's basically singing, right? I need 2 or 3 hours to thaw. And then I'm like good to go. And I operate best at night, and this is typically where I do my, you know, best work, starting around like 7, 8 o'clock, which it's about 8 o'clock right now while I'm cutting this video. So now those are some of the benefits. Obviously there's more, especially for the longevity's sake, but I'll kind of just break some of that stuff down for you, right? So you want your body to go into a state of ketosis, and it does. I mean, you don't have to do the keto diet. I might be researching that stuff and doing it right now, but it doesn't mean you have to do it. Your body goes into a mild state of ketosis when you're fasting, because your body always wants to make sure there's some sort of fuel source. It's a protective mechanism. It's an auxiliary system, right? Because we typically run off of glucose, right? The brain can only be fed by glucose or ketones. Big facts, big facts. So that's really good. Gut biome, just covered that. Now, when you're talking about the discipline and learning your biorhythms, what happens is that you're able to really tune in what you need specifically for your body. What you need for you is going to be different from what I need for me. There's people on here, by the way, here's just an example, in the bodybuilding community, it's like chicken rice, broccoli, chicken rice, blah, 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 chicken rice. I could do rice, right? But they would, whenever they talked about oatmeal would just blow me up, right? And I couldn't deal with it, even though you hear all these people in the fitness community talking about, oh, I use steel cut oats, rolled up, blah, 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 blah. But it didn't matter, because I needed to know what worked for me. This is the same thing for you. So I really like protocols that really force me to dive deep and learn more about my body and how I work, right? Which is what I've been doing since I was 16 years old, and probably even a little bit before that, back when I was Chubby Chase. And from there, you start learning and you're adapting, because every few years your body kind of changes. The gut biome, different, you ever notice that your taste buds get a little bit different, right? If you're 15 and you're watching this right now, you don't know what I'm talking about. But when you go through life, your body changes, right? And then another benefit is that you're also going to be having less inflammation, because inflammation is pretty damaging and it can be systemic, which we don't want. So that's just some of the things I've been nerding out about, and I'll take you through a few different protocols and what you can expect, right? So I have some of my clients on these programs. They've seen some pretty awesome results. Some of them have lost up to 9 pounds. They're feeling better. Their waist is getting tighter. There's some people who have lost up to 22 pounds. It's all these different things, but it all matters about what works for you. So let's just say 16 hours, right? 16 hours is your go-to jam, right? And in these 16 hours, that's where you're starting to get the benefits of intermittent fasting. And then you have 8 hours where you feed. So intermittent fasting protocol typically is a 16-8, where you fast not every day, right? But a few times per week. For ladies, maybe something like 3 to 4 times per week, right? For males, it could be a little bit more, right? And so now what we're able to do is, now we have a restricted feeding window where we're still eating the same amount of calories. Same amount, right? But you have to be very intentional with what you eat, because then you can supercharge the fat burning process or the muscle building process, right? Now, another type of fast would be a 20-hour fasting window with 4-hour eating period. You're getting more of the effects of ketosis. You're getting more of the effects of autophagy, gut biome reset. If there's nothing coming into the stomach, your bacteria aren't being fed, so they stop doing it, right? And then there's a 24-hour fast, right? Where at 24 hours, you really start to get a little bit more of the benefits of autophagy and ketosis. You're getting into a state where your body's okay, I need to run off of this. And then what I'm currently doing is a 48-hour fast, where in that time period, I'm maximizing ketosis, getting into a therapeutic state of ketosis. I'm also getting into awesome autophagy benefits, right? And then I'm also resetting my gut biome, right? And I'm doing this mostly because I'm about to enter into the keto diet to try that out and go through, because the last time I did it, I was 22, and obviously I'm 30 now, so my body's changed a little bit, and I need to be like a nerd and figure that out. But as you're going through and you see all that stuff, you'll notice and it's weird, because you think 48 hours would be really difficult, but it's not. I mean, some of my friends out there that have done 48, 72-hour fasts. Some of my friends that have done Ramadan. Once you're in that state, you kind of get used to it. It's not a big deal, right? And so in that, after that 48 hours, I'll break with the right foods, and then my body can actually continue to use those fuel sources more appropriately. So let's review this real quick. So currently nerding on intermittent fasting, and fasting is a state where there's nothing coming in but water. You can have black coffee, nothing added to it, or green tea is really good too, nothing added to it. And those are the only three things that come into your body, right? And then after that fasting window, you enter your feeding window, which is where you have your calories and you're being strategic with your meals, right? And then for the longer term fasts, that's where you need to be more about like, hey, making sure you're getting enough of your electrolytes like sodium, right? That's going to help with energy levels and craving. And we're talking about 24 to 48 hours here. And you're getting into the benefits of the therapeutic ketosis. You're getting into the benefits of autophagy. You're getting into the benefits of the gut biome reset, and all those things that can benefit from it. Because our ancestors, sometimes they didn't, they had to go through without some food, right? So you had to have backup systems. So this is what I'm currently nerding on. I'll probably release more videos. If you guys like this, drop a comment down below or ask a question. Let's engage, let's have a conversation, because I'm really interested in, obviously, in the human body. I've been studying it since I was 7 years old, and I actually have the book on my shelf for my first anatomy book that I picked up. And it's just been a phenomenal journey, and I want to share some more content with you guys, especially during these like weird times that we're in. It gets you woke on some of the things that you're really passionate about. So have a great rest of your day and crush it, and peace, love, and gains.